there's been some talks about Acolyte season 2, and I didn't know what was going on. And then I looked into it a little more, and it's like actually, I don't know. You want to bring up the article? While you do that, I'll read a couple of the massive super chats that we got in. Thank you so much, Machete Order. With $50, he says media reports KK retiring. KK debunks it without debunking it. Rick McCollum talks about Underworld on a podcast. Then Ron Moore, writer on Underworld, talks about Underworld on Katie Sackhoff's podcast, and this is all a coincidence. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like coincidence to me. It seems like things are actually happening behind the scenes that we don't really know about. But until we know for sure, we'll just call it a coincidence. Tim O'Brien with another 50 says, Theory, happy belated birthday, my man. Thank you so much, Tim. I hope it was your best B-Day yet. Seeing you and Josh meet in person was special for sure. Keep killing it, man. Nerd Theory for life. Acolyte gets renewed. Will be Civil War without it. I actually want Acolyte season 2 to happen. That was some of the best content and memes and time that I had with the community of just like exposing this garbage show for what it was. And wouldn't mind for a season 2 because how bad can it get compared to where it already is? Probably pretty bad. So
I don't agree with that at all, man.
Hey, why not? Dude? You know, Nerdrotic wants the season 2. Critical Drinker's like, sure, why not? Bring on season 2.
Oh,
I'm on board too. Why not?
dude, please don't do that to me.
Yeah, can you imagine the play? Oh, it would hurt so much. He'd be
That
like,
would be
"Yeah,
great.
I'm done."
Because it would
playing."
just make all the fan projects that much better.
Ooh,
The
positive.
further they drift us away from George Lucas Star Wars, the more the fan stuff will just prosper.
So the basis behind the article is just like figures of engagement, right? They're not even talking about like straight up success. They're just like saying people are still talking about the show. Is that
From a
correct?
certain point of view.
Well, no,
Um,
they were talking about some figures actually that like it's the most requested show after what was it, Dash? It says somewhere in the article.
Let's have a look down here. It's behind Skeleton Crew. But it's kind of middling, and so they're positing, well, if it beats Obi-Wan, Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka,
It beat Obi-Wan, Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka. That's insane.
yeah. And
That's
they've got this new
wild.
metric. It's called Parrot. I'm gonna have to just have a little look down here. It's so weird. Basically, they've got social media metrics injected so that people can then prop up, Hollywood people that want to talk to shareholders and be like, this isn't, an absolute loss.
Oh, I see.
Here-
Like this
yeah,
is
yeah.
but does it, I mean, it could be, us talking about how shitty it is. That doesn't necessarily mean that
That's what I
people
was
want.
thinking too.
So
If
is
it's
it
pure engagement.
differentiating between the two, between it being great and it being garbage? Or like what people are saying, or is it just as a whole?
I don't know how the metrics work, and I think that they've obfuscated that data so that they can look. Why would you give that out? It basically just says it has a 20.4, and I'm looking at the metrics on Parrot, times like potential, like higher than any other show, supposedly. People are more interested across socials and stuff, 20.4 times more than the average. But what is that? People could be rage tweeting. Like, does it count
That's what
positive
I think
versus
is going
negative?
on.
The bulk, like it's some weird. I said I made a video about it. It was like it's like The Rock. The Rock has the famous rock math he uses to basically say, if you put me in Jumanji 7, you're gonna get all this engagement and blah. And he makes it all sexy and probably has a great, slideshow.
Rock math.
The rock math, yeah. But he infamously that's how because his movies kind of suck.
Yeah.
But if they like, what was it? The Shazam spinoff, Black Adam. If it loses money, then he rock maths it. I don't know how he does it. He's like, look at my Insta, bro. Like, look at, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this is so stupid. This is the new age we live in.
I'm just thinking about how many times I tweeted about the Acolyte in comparison to like Skeleton Crew. If you are right and your theory is correct that it's just all engagement and it doesn't discern, I probably tweeted,
Who
10,
was it
15
talking-
times about the
Was it-
Acolyte and like once of Skeleton Crew.
Was it one of you guys that told me about that? It was someone that was an actor or someone who knew an actor or something, and they said they only hire people now based on if they have a larger following on social media.
Makes
How did I
sense.
hear this? Yeah, which is, I mean, it's not surprising
Kitty.
that would be a credential. That'd be like a prerequisite.
Plants. Bunch of industry plants.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You know, you want your stuff pushed out more. It's free marketing for them. Obviously, if you know your actor has a big following, then you know you can get it out to more eyes. But it doesn't necessarily mean more eyes equates to sales, or you know, it depends on the product. If it's a good movie, I guarantee you people are going to see it.
I'd be
Here's
fascinated to see what the numbers look like on a season 2, frankly, because I think a lot of people did watch The Acolyte out of pure bewilderment. Like, how
they said
bad can
that.
it really be? They said
It,
they
it
mentioned
started
that in the article.
they say it's like, yeah, it's like top 5 streaming at the time. It's like 3, and then it jumped out of the top 10 by episode 3, and then it dropped back in the top 10 of streaming at the time on the final episode, because people just want to know how it ends, because they're, you know, people
Totally.
want to know. I'll read this and you guys can make of it what you will, because this really is telling on how they kind of do these mental gymnastics. It says Parrot Analytics tracks the most in-demand series by measuring interest, engagement, and viewership across social media, streaming sites, and other sources. This data is represented through a singular figure as the multiple of an individual series demand against the average show in the US. So hence why they've come up with these weird numbers. 7 months after The Acolyte was cancelled, Parrot Analytics indicated demand for the High Republic series is still running strong, and the series has demand in the US of 20.4 times the market average in the last 30 days, a level held only by 2.7% of shows that Parrot Analytics classes as outstanding. Parrot Analytics demands statistics for other live-action Star Wars Disney Plus series, of which The Acolyte ranks higher than more than half in the last 30 days. So people are still pissed about The Acolyte. That's
Yeah.
what I took from it.
Yeah, we're
It's literally
contributing to the numbers right now by talking about it.
yes. People tweeting about that. Oh, it's so it's snaky. Oh,
It's weird. So it doesn't differentiate. So something could be like literally garbage, and it just says, "Oh, a lot of people are talking about this."
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
So that should, so everybody watching it, that should tell you exactly what these corporate executives really care about. They don't care if it's good or bad. They care if it's getting buzz, because they can. It's like a YouTube video. If you like or dislike, doesn't really make a difference. You're engaging. That's the point.
Yeah.
So it's kind of almost like baiting you, tricking you, like, hey, engage with this. Engagement will drive up views to whatever you want. So it's in their favor, even perhaps, to make something that is so controversial, in a sense, where like it could get decent views now because people have made such a big hoopla about it, and they want to see it fail, but then a lot of people want to, you know, well, less people want to see it succeed, but that would be the end of it. There would be no merch sales, there would be no toy sales, no one's buying any of the lightsabers that from these characters, no one's buying any of the actual merch or anything to do with the show, because it was just unbecoming. So it would literally be another very expensive project that would just cost them an arm and a leg and not go anywhere.
I think The Acolyte is interesting because I think there's a
clip that. You've said it all.
Shill. I think I draw comparisons in my mind to like Captain Marvel versus the Marvels, right? So Captain Marvel was a huge success across the board. The Acolyte wasn't. But I wonder how long can the shtick really land is my question. Because Captain Marvel made $1 billion and the Marvels was it like crazy
Shit.
in the red.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it's streaming, so you have ease of access, which is going to contribute to more views. You know, it's like, oh, I have nothing to watch. I might as well put on The Acolyte in my home. But the point I'm trying to make is I don't think it's even a for sure win if they got a second season. I genuinely think that if it could just flop because people are just tired of it, the same way they got bored of like Captain Marvel and then Endgame, and then having her own show or her own movie just completely bombed. I could see that happening too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a weird thing. It's a fickle situation, and
I think it's PR.
may
I
God
think they
help.
just they spent too much money trying to say. I mean, do you see like Steven Spielberg drop like Jurassic Park, the first one, and then do a bunch of articles and like saying, oh, or like Invincible. Okay, here's something closer.
Oh, I
Invincible
love
comes out,
Invincible.
same, right? So, but like Invincible's not doing all these mental gymnastics and showing all these metrics. Like, hey, we're valid. We need a season 4 because it's dope and people are just going to watch. So this is clearly PR cleanup, like crew at its best. Like nobody who's successful does this shit.
No, it's weird, but this is why I think it actually might happen, is because it's getting all of it. Like, people want it more than freaking Kenobi. Well, they're talking about it more than Kenobi. I wouldn't say want. So for a lot of those fools up there in the suits who don't know what they're doing anyways, they might see that and be like, great, let's greenlight it and make it actually happen. So it just comes down to how out of touch they are up there, and shit. I mean, yeah, it could actually be a possibility.
It would still
Stop saying
surprise
that. It
me.
hurts me.
Yeah, it would. It would
hurts
still
me.
surprise me, man. It definitely, the numbers are indicating a possibility, but man, I just really hope they don't do that. I don't want to see Plagueis. I don't want to see. I can't believe I'm saying that, but like, I don't want to see these creatives handle Darth Plagueis. I don't want to see them explore the rule of 2. I don't want them to bring back fucking Mace Windu for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want these people around Star Wars. But,
why? What's wrong with that? What if Mace Windu came back, but he wasn't a Jedi, so he could take a lover, and the dude was really into like stumps, and it was just episodes dedicated to that? You wouldn't want to see that?
when you put it like
Let me
that,
oil your stump, Mace. And he said, "Oh, it's tender."
when you
Yeah.
raise the bar like that,
Oh, I think Kreia said it best. An alliance born of hate is a fragile thing indeed. By creating this new hate content to justify failures is a horrible precedent to set.
have they done it before? Have they ever
I think every time they do quote unquote woke stuff, that they're trying to be divisive because it gets engagement. I truly believe that in my heart. I don't think that corporations truly care about people. That's just me. I think it is to, inspire people to click, because people, especially real fans, are so passionate. I think that I genuinely think that there's a whole strategy to it, and they've got psychologists behind there going, we're going to make it into a win, even if it's an L. That's just me.